What getting the live stream set up. You guys like my new little nose ring? This isn't new, by the way. I just haven't had it on in a while. I typically get it out when allergies are going nuts, and guess what? They're going nuts. We'll give it a few minutes. Let me get this all set up on the Instagram side of things. As usual. Cool. We should be good to go now. Cool beans. Beans that are cool. You guys like cool beans? Anyways, let's get into it. All right. So, as we've been talking about, obviously we're going to be continue the theme of the Chigel equation. You guys may have noticed I don't have like my typical PowerPoint thing presentation already set up and stuff like that. I'm going to try it a little different, just see how this rolls, you know, just kind of like going over the points myself and kind of explain it to you guys, let you guys like chat with me if you want to, ask questions, and just kind of try things in that fashion. But as we've been talking with the Chigel equation, you know, there's 4 different variables to the Chigel equation. This week, we've been kind of going over different ways these different variables affect like the fitness realm. And today, we're kind of going over constraints. Specifically, we're going to be talking about rules and that's exactly why we're, you know, the name of the live stream is the name of the live stream. What up, Showtime? I see you in the chat. But yeah, I mean, the big thing here is constraint, like not trying to limit constraint, using constraint to help give us more freedom, right? So big thing here is that a lot of people are trying to get away from rules. This was me, like back when I basically left high school. I guess that's how it would all have started. It's almost like I was trying to like create my own rule book, I guess you could say. Like I didn't want to wake up at a certain time. I didn't want to. I had a problem with authority. That was the issue, right? If you boil everything down, that's the main issue. Is that I just quite simply had a problem with authority. I didn't take what someone said or what someone told me for granted. Like I definitely like looked it up myself, kind of thing. And, you know, you think about like all these rules, like, oh man, why should I have to get up at this time? Or, you know, why should I have to, you know, do this work when I don't even care about this work? Why should I have to do this? Why should I have to do that? Right. And I think what happens over time for a lot of us, especially I think school does this for a lot of people, because a lot of people just did not, most people did not really just enjoy their school experience other than like for maybe the social aspect for some people, maybe for some people that did like, you know, the stuff they learned. But a lot of other people like me definitely didn't like being told what to do. I mean, that's a big part of it. A lot of people struggle with being told what to do by other people, right? And what you got to understand is that's not a problem. But I think for a lot of people, they interpret that as, I don't want to live by rules, right? I think rules are something that, you know, are not something I'm really all about. And that's not a good viewpoint either. Well, guys, what you got to understand is that true freedom is having rules, right? Like, I think a lot of people have this conception that like, oh, I don't want to have to track my calories. I don't want to have to go to bed at a certain time so I get plenty of rest. I don't want to have to stay consistent with my workouts and show up like it's a job, right? But at the end of the day, like, you either do that or you don't get results. That's a huge, you got to do the right things to get the right results, right? And so that being said, you got to set rules in place. For my clients, we call it non-negotiables, right? A lot of people call it that. And this is not something that's exclusive to me. A lot of successful people use this, right? You create rules for yourself. That's something that I think will help a lot of you guys out there. Like I think it's very important to not just listen to anybody. You know, I'm very big about that because not everyone has what you want in mind. Most people don't. Most people have what they want in mind, right? So having your own kind of set of rule books is a good play, but you got to set the standard. You got to set the rules. You cannot be floating through life without any rules because you're not going to be happy with the results that come from that. Again, when we're talking about the Chigel equation, you're talking about lowering constraint to a point to where you don't have any constraints, and that's just it's not possible. It's not, in fact, what ends up happening is you start going towards like erosion. You start like getting away from evolving as a person. And that's just mainly because there's nothing to form you as a person. Like our constraints are what form us. right? Diamonds need pressure to become diamonds. Otherwise, they stay fucking rocks and cold. I mean, for real. That's the reality of how the world works. And that's one of the things we bring up in the Chigel equation. And I think a lot of people got this wrong, is like they want to live this carefree life and not do anything, or not being controlled by rules. And they, and this can be called, I think online people call this a type B personality type of person. And don't get me, I'm no type A type of person, right? I'm not very organized. Like, my room's a mess right now. Look at I have some stuff organized, but to a degree. Like, I don't make myself OCD about it, right? Like, it is one of those things that, like, we have to really figure out where to balance. So freedom, what we need to understand is that when we think of freedom, what we're really thinking about is getting what we want, right? But getting what you want, one, you can't have everything all at once. Again, you're not God, okay? You got to learn how to choose one thing you want and start attacking that, start chasing that, or 1 to 3 things, right? There could be a few different aspects where you could definitely get away with this stuff. But if you're not very good at being successful in anything, I would start with 1, okay? Like, don't overfill your cup. We'll talk about that because that's a big part of this too. But every time, and guys, we've all had periods of our lives that are like this. Remember when there was a period of your life, maybe you were just, maybe it was like you were in between jobs or whatever the case may be, or maybe you're someone who's out of shape and it's your day off and you wake up with no plan and that was supposed to be your day. You were supposed to get a workout in, right? And you end up just burning it away. When do I train? What do I eat? Should I stick to the plan today or start over on Monday? Right? Like, you aren't sticking to any rules because you haven't really set any concrete rules in place. And you got to create rules here. Like, you can't just do whatever you want and expect something to just fall into your lap. That's what constraints are for, to help guide you to whatever goal you want, whatever said goal is, right? But if you take out all constraints, you're not going anywhere. You're just going to be floating around. And this is the part a lot of people are struggling with. They want success, but they don't know what to do about it, and they're not doing anything about it. And guys, you could have the worst game plan ever. That's still better than no game plan, because at least you're learning from the failure you're going to make. That's the reality. And a lot of you guys are sitting like scared ducks because you don't want to take that jump and leap of faith. And honestly, you don't want to fail. And I get that. But guys, in order to have success, you got to be completely okay with failing. You have to. Otherwise, you're not going to show up. And also, you're not going to get any good, because the only great people in this world who are good at anything have gotten, like, a great example is MMA. The best fighters in the world have all gotten their ass kicked. All of them. In training. In sparring practice. Sparring people that are, like, in a weight class above them. And if you're in the top weight class, well, guess what? You're going to spar 3 times in a row. Back to back to back, 5-minute rounds. And you're going to throw up everywhere, right? You do not get to be this kind of person you want to be and not do the stuff that it takes, like do the sacrifices that it takes to get there. That's not how reality works, guys. And again, that's why I wrote this book. That's why we talk about constraints all the time in the Chigel equation, because so many people are trying to lower constraints. Some people do need to lower constraints. But at the very same time, most people need to manage their constraints. That's the problem. You don't necessarily need more. You don't necessarily need less. You need to learn to manage it and then sprinkle on more. First, you got to manage it, though. That's huge. But a big reason why rules will help in this regard is they'll help you remove negotiation so that you'll go ahead and do whatever constraint you need to do in order to get said results, right? Rules, for example, they eliminate all debates in regards to, if you said, again, let's say this is a rule, some rules you have. I train at 6 a.m. No debate. You know for a fact you train at 6 a.m. just like you go to work at 8 a.m. or whatever the fuck you go into work, right? Doesn't matter. But whatever time you go into work, there's no debating it. You're going there at that time, or you're probably going to get fired for showing up late. Straight up. That's how it works, right? That sounds like a job. Sounds like your work. Well, guys, listen. Jobs have that so that they don't crumble. It's what keeps the system structural. And what you got to understand about rules, guys, rules are what that keep the system flowing to make things easy, right? Again, if you don't like the rules someone else is putting onto you, that's fine, but you can't be living life with no rules. You have to have some kind of rules in order to get anywhere you want to go, especially if you want to get anywhere you want to go. I'm explaining to you right now, right? Another great rule, right? I eat 200 grams protein daily. That's a rule, no negotiating. It's a rule you've set in stone, no debate. If you mess up hitting that, that's okay, but at least you tried. And if you tried, you can figure out what you did wrong as like a litmus test to tell you what direction you need to go in and work on it. But not doing anything and not setting these standards for yourself because you don't like the way it makes you feel is what's holding you back. So don't do that shit. Okay? I prep meals Sunday. No debate. Less mental back and forth. This is what's called decision fatigue, guys. If you don't set these rules, you're going to experience decision fatigue trying to figure out all you want. You don't want to meal prep because you want to have some freedom in your meals. But what ends up happening is you don't know what you want to eat on a day-by-day basis. You end up fucking up your diet because you don't know what to eat that's healthy and it's going to fit into your macros. Whereas if you would have just meal prepped that stuff, you would have known for sure it would have fit and it would have tasted good enough to eat for lunch. You would have been fine. That's the reality here. And that's where a lot of you guys are fucking up. Like, you're fucking this shit up because of this. You're not just like setting yourself some standards, setting yourself some rules. It's so that you don't negotiate with yourself. Because, guys, you're going to be emotional when you're hungry. You ever heard of hangry? That's a real thing. That's not just something people say. Like, that is actually like a real fucking thing, right? And you make really bad decisions when you're in those kind of mindsets. If you don't have these rules down, the system's going to crumble. And that's why you haven't gotten the results. That's why you've been trying for years and you haven't gotten anywhere, is because you are not setting standards for yourself or holding yourself accountable to those standards. That's one of the things I do for my clients is I make sure they're set. We set rules for them. We make sure they stick to that system, right? And then fat loss is automated, literally. Like the equation, the equation for getting results in fitness is not fucking rocket science, guys. But a lot of you guys just simply aren't doing the right things. Like you're doing this whole mental masturbation with yourself, where you're like going in and out, in and out, in and out, trying to like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? And because you're thinking about fitness, you're patting yourself on the back. That does not know, guys. It is a simple matter. It doesn't matter what you think about anything. It does. Your thoughts, your opinions do not matter, because in this particular situation, when we're talking about fitness, it's a simple matter. Do it or don't. Get results or don't. Do this, get that. Don't do this, don't get that. That is how it works. And this is based off of me being training people for over a decade and getting people thousands of people results. Thousands of different people, even if they weren't my client, have DM. I post these all the time on my stories. If you guys don't check out my stories. Like, people hit me up all the time. Dude, I got on that phone call with you 6 months ago. It completely changed my life. So I lost 40 pounds. That came up like literally today. That was one of them today. Right? And so listen to me when I'm saying this. Guys, you know exactly what you need to be doing. Set rules so that when you get emotional because you're hungry or emotional because you're full and you don't want to eat any more chicken, that you do it anyways because you set the standard for yourself. That is the whole point. That is how you make sure that you show up on the other side with results. And not showing up on the other side going, damn, I guess another 6 months down the road, I'm going to try and truck again, see what we can get done. Don't do that. You've been doing that all your life. Let's get some fucking results. Figure out this process so you can keep moving forward and keep evolving. So we can get through this fucking point. Because trust me, I know how frustrating it is. I've been that guy who looks in the mirror when I was 300 pounds, grabbing his fucking fat, going like, get the fuck off me. Because I was sick and tired of what I was seeing in the mirror. Like, that is something you've got to make sure you're getting out. You're not trying to get rid of rules. You're trying to figure out what rules you need to have in place to get to the goals you specifically want. And again, that's not going to happen without goal setting. That's why we spend so many live streams on goal setting, guys. Make sure you're doing that first. But understand, constraint equals stability. Like, this is what's going to help you understand, I have to do this, I don't have to do this. I have to do this, I don't have to do this. Right? That's where all of you guys are stuck. You don't know what you need to do. And it's because you're not sitting down, writing it out. And even if you're wrong, at least you know, hey, I need to tweak this. Hey, I need to tweak this. Now, again, this is why I have a freaking business. You know, like, hit me up if you really struggle with that. But that being said, guys, this is definitely something you can do on your own. It's just very tedious. Like, again, I can't preach this enough. Journal. Journaling helps so freaking much. Like, or not even journaling, data tracking, guys. Journaling's a part of it, but so is tracking your calories, so is tracking your weight, so is tracking how much weight you're moving around, so is tracking how many reps you got in for that exercise and how many sets you did, so is tracking progress pictures, so is tape measurements. Like, track progress. That will help you determine, okay, this is what I got to change. Okay, this isn't going the way I want it to. This is what I got to change. And it's nitty gritty. And yes, there are specific things that you need to make sure you're doing, right? But that being said, a full trial and error of someone just trying 2 years down the road compared to someone who wants to get all the science right, the person who wants to get all the science right is just simply not ever going to show up. At least the person who is at least going to try is going to get somewhere in 2 years through trial and error, right? So keep that in mind, guys. A lot of you guys are afraid to even just jump ship. Just do what you got to do. Put yourself out there and see if you sink or swim, right? This is something a lot of people are afraid to do, but it's also the same reason why you're stuck. So let's not keep doing the same thing. If you're tired of being more the fuck you, if you're tired of looking in the mirror and being like, I fucking hate what I'm seeing, then fucking do something about it. Stop settling. You're settling. So many people out there are settling because they just don't want to put the work in. Don't do that. It's not just a thing where it's like, oh, yeah, you get to be a more socially popular person, or, oh, yeah, you get more likes on Instagram. No, it adds years to your life. Do we forget that part? Does this all always just have to be a fucking thing about a beauty contest, about how fucking sexy someone looks without a shirt on? Or is it also about, hey, this adds years to my life? People forget that part. I don't know why. It drives me fucking bananas, because this literally kills more people than any drug overdose ever does, times 8, literally. Do the math. Go look on Google. You can do the research. How many people die from obesity-related disease in America per year compared to how many people die from drug overdose from all drugs all together per year, and compare those numbers. You'll be shocked. Your jaw will drop. And it'll make you go, okay, maybe I shouldn't be ignoring this like I have been, because all these people you see passing away at 60, 70 years old, that does not have to happen. For a majority of those people, they could have been living until they're 90 to 100 years old. In fact, I'll be honest with you, guys, it way past that. I've seen more and more, you're going to see this, 100-year-olds do marathons. That's a thing. That's not like, oh, that's a genetic freak. No, that's just hard-ass working people who are said, fuck this, I'm just going to go fucking run and I'm going to keep doing it. And there's not one, there's a lot of them. And it's, I promise you guys, because again, a lot of people don't understand. You'd be like, well, why haven't people been doing this forever? We didn't learn about exercise and nutrition until the last 40 years, guys. Maybe 50 years. Nutrition really just the past 40 to 30 years. Really. And so we just got this information. Wait and see. Give it a couple decades. I promise you're going to see more of these people, because the information's just out there more. There's a thing called the internet where you can get information more. There's people like me putting this information out there more so they can see it. Right? Access to new supplements they've never had before, or never even been introduced to before. More and more old people are using creatine than ever before. More and more people are using vitamin D than ever before. More and more people are using magnesium more than ever before. More and more people are exercising 3 to 5 days a week more than ever before. You're going to see some crazy changes over the few decades from the outstanders who decided to get the fuck up and do something about their health. Pay attention. I promise it's going to be prevalent. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you set a standard for yourself, guys. That's what constraints all about, especially in the fitness game. Set non-negotiables. Set rules for yourself so you don't keep making the same mistakes. They're very simple stuff, guys. Like, I'll give you a list of 6 simple rules you can go ahead and steal right now, right? I don't skip workouts 2 days in a row, right? I eat protein in every single meal. I don't eat past 8 p.m. I train at 5 p.m. no matter fucking what. I track my weight every Sunday. Water bottle empty 3 times a day. Right? Just having this stuff written down and in the back of your mind, and when you go to bed at night, do a mental checklist. Did I hit all of those today? Fuck, I missed a couple. Okay, we really had to hammer that down on that tomorrow. Guys, within a month, the new habits you'll have developed. But you got to be consistent. This is not something you can play like fucking weekend basketball with your friends. You got to fucking show up and do the damn thing all the fucking time. Yes, like it's a fucking job. Why? Because this is giving you stuff like a fucking job would. A job helps you sustain your fucking life, right? So does working on your fitness. Literally, it does. A job helps you provide for your family. So does working on your fitness. Literally. Guys, I could go on all day. There's so much science and stuff. I don't have to even argue this. This is something that's scientifically known. I'll give you another one. It is something that is, if you look at the data, right, you can directly correlate people who work on their fitness with higher income. And no, that's not because they have better opportunity. Dude, I fucking used to have to heat my house with my gas oven because I couldn't pay I had to heat it with my electric oven because I couldn't pay the gas bill. Do not give me that shit. I've been broke as fuck. That's bullshit. It's a bunch of hoopla. I want someone to throw a pity party for me. That doesn't work on me. I've been to the lowest depths before. I know what it feels like to fucking go through it. And I've come back up. A lot of people are throwing pity parties for themselves instead of applying the constraints and using it to help fuel them and make them better and make them stronger and shape them and mold them. That is what that is all for. You don't just get to go through life and not suffer, guys. That's not what life's about at all. The whole point of suffering, the whole point of constraint is to form you, to teach you, to take you to the next level. Without that, you are floating around doing absolutely nothing. Without that, you are waking up every fucking morning without any game plan, feeling depressed as hell because your life has no purpose. That's why you feel that way, because you're floating around doing nothing. And I'm not saying there aren't people out there that deal with real depression. That is a real fucking thing. I have seen it. There are a lot of people out there that claim they have depression that are simply not fucking taking any initiative with their life. They're not trying to move forward with their life. They're trying to float around and have as much fun as possible in this hedonistic lifestyle, and that's why you're fucking depressed. You got to have purpose in your life. You have to have constraint. You have to have a reason to wake up every morning. And if you're just floating around, you don't have any goals, what the hell is the reason to wake up every morning? There's not much of one, and that's where a lot of depression, I think, comes from. So work on that. Set some fucking goals. What do you want with this life? You get one fucking life. Choose something and go the fuck after it. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got one more for the week. We're going to go over, I got it up here somewhere. Energy leaks. This one's actually probably going to be one of the better, some very serious good information in this one, guys. Again, we'll be live around 7 p.m. CST tomorrow, so check us out there. Last one of the week. I'll see you guys then.